the system.
How you doing?
Getting beat up by 9 guys in Syracuse, to me, there's not a whole lot of shame in.
This is the Heel to the Face podcast with your hosts, Jared Wicks and Brandon Icebreaker Clements. Tweet us using the handle at Heel to the Face.
Woo! 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 Woo!
The bell is rung, so let's step in the ring with your hosts, Brandon and Jared.
This is the Heel to the Face podcast. We're coming off of the Survivor Series this past Sunday. Coming on to Starcade, is that correct? Is that a thing? Is that a thing we're gonna? Would you consider that a thing? Icebreaker 21 on Twitter.
Yeah, I consider it. I mean, it's pre-recorded. We'll get an hour edited version. I guess it's special.
I guess it's an hour better than we had last week. Either way, I'm Jared. You can find me on Twitter at KRockJared. Without further ado, let's get this week's edition of the show underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
With a 20-minute time limit.
So as we were just talking, Starcade last year, not on television. This year, a 1-hour edited version. Why can't they just put it on the network live? I don't really understand this. What's the problem last year? What's the problem this year?
I'll be honest with you. It's a live event. Just put it on. Like, who cares? Like, who cares if it's... What do they usually do with live events?
I guess
It's
I just don't even understand anything about this live event because I don't understand why they call it Starcade. I don't understand the whole gimmick behind this. I don't understand what WWE's purpose of this is. To sell more tickets to a house show?
Yeah, I would say so because they throw a name on it. They expect a bigger show, I guess. I mean, that's my take on it. I didn't even know Starcade was happening until recently anyways, to be honest with you. They didn't really promote it that much until fairly recently.
I feel like they promoted it better last year when it wasn't even on the network.
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, last year they hyped it up so much, and it's like, okay, so you just hyped up a live event.
We can't even watch.
Yeah, that sucked. Come on. And here's the thing. If you're going to use the name Starcade, at least let's make it like some sort of show. Like, oh, now
I don't understand why they can't replace TLC with Starcade.
Hell, I'll take Backlash over Starcade. Honestly, I mean that's my take on it. I'll take that any day of the week. I think Backlash. I mean, get rid of it. I mean, would you be sad if Backlash was no longer Backlash? It was Starcade.
No, I don't. That's why I don't understand this at all. I don't understand why I wouldn't be upset if TLC was Starcade.
Well,
I wouldn't be upset if Hell in a Cell was Starcade.
Well, let's do this. Okay.
TLC is really that important on the calendar?
There's 5 pay-per-views. I mean, yes, we have the big 4. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor. That's the big 4. To me, we've talked about it before. I would say Tables, Ladders, and Chairs is, I would say, the 5th.
You think so? I think Money in the Bank would be the 5th, and I thought you even said that yourself.
That's what I mean. Okay, sorry. Correction. Money in the Bank. You're right. Yes, Money in the Bank is number 5. Yes, that is correct. Yes, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Yes, I'd get rid of it. Money in the Bank. I don't know why I slipped my mind, but yeah, I would say Money in the Bank is definitely number 5.
Now, I know you love Survivor Series. I don't really understand why so much you love Survivor Series. And
it's different, man. It's not your average pay-per-view. I know
it's a pay-per-view that when it's over with, regardless of who won or lost, it just to me felt like it doesn't have any drag over. Nothing that happened at Survivor Series affects anything the night after.
Think of it this way. To me, it's kind of like an all-star game.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what I look at.
It's exactly like an all-star game because after the all-star game, you're like, it doesn't matter if the final score of that NBA all-star game was 200 to 100, 200 to 199. It ended on a half-court buzzer beater. It ended with somebody scoring 85 points. It doesn't matter at all because the next day, it's like it didn't even happen. And if you didn't watch it, you didn't miss anything. This is the one pay-per-view that if I felt I did not watch this at all, I did watch it. If I did not watch it at all, what would I have missed?
Here's my take on it, and it is the equivalent to an all-star game for WWE fans, for sports entertainment fans. The reason why I like it so much is you get to see, I mean, especially with the brand splits now with Raw and SmackDown, you get to see superstar matchups like Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins that you don't normally see. So it's WWE's version of showcasing, both talents. It's like in the Pro Bowl. I mean, that's a bad example because the Pro Bowl is not good, but it's like AFC versus NFC. You know what I mean? That's
red versus blue.
It's it's East versus West. And in the NBA, that's just how it is. I love it because you get to see matches like that. and a lot of good things happen on this pay-per-view. I know it's not it's different because I do like the whole storyline, deal. I mean, I don't really go to live events because there's no storylines. So I know I'm kind of like, it's kind of, it doesn't make my point for me because I like storylines. But
there are no storylines in Survivor Series, essentially.
I do like it because it's an all-star thing. And to me, it's got the all-star feel. You bring in the big names. You get, Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. That was a great match. I enjoyed that.
That was much better than I thought it would be.
And heck, I know we didn't get Becky Lynch versus Ronda, but guess what? That match still delivered. That was a 5-star match in my book. I think Ronda Rousey is fantastic. She reminds me, from how quickly she jumped in from, her background to WWE. It reminds me a lot of Kurt Angle. Because Kurt Angle was a natural. He picked it up right away. Ronda Rousey she's picked it up right away, and she cuts fantastic promos. Like, she did a great job. And then you see the follow-up promo on Monday night. That was great too. She wanted some competition. She gets Mickie James. I thought the match. There were some highlights and lowlights, of course. That's what we get with every pay-per-view. There were some forgettable matches. I think the match I didn't really, I'll be honest with you, I thought was awful was AOP and in the bar. I thought that was forgettable. I didn't really, I didn't think that was good. I really liked.
The only thing we had from that is I didn't watch it live. Brandon kind of spoiled it for me, and I actually had to go back because I didn't see it at first. Enzo Amore trying to jump the gate.
I wasn't. I tried to. I gave you subtle hints. Maybe it was too subtle. I was sitting there watching it, and I'm like, I hear the fan reaction. I'm like, well, So normally what I do is because we're in the world of social media now. I'm like, okay, let me go check out. Let's go hashtag Survivor Series, and then the first thing I see is, someone took a picture of their TV. Hey, is that Enzo in a hoodie? That was. I'm like, and then I saw then there was multiple angles from different fans, and clearly that was obviously not. They weren't. I don't think that was staged or anything like that. I think that was just Enzo being Enzo. That's just what he's doing. So that leads to my next question here. Do you think Enzo is coming back?
Absolutely not. Not after that.
Okay.
I think that ruined it for him if he had any chance of ever coming back.
But here's my thing though. He never got charged. That's the thing I have an issue with. If he did something wrong,
but the way he acted at Survivor Series.
Yeah, but still, maybe WWE might want to capitalize on that now because the fans still loved it. He was, how you doing? The fans were loving it. The fans love it.
I don't see it
he's a
from Vince
moneymaker
McMahon's perspective that way.
He's a moneymaker though.
I'm saying it's not impossible for him to ever come back. I just felt though they might have cost himself a little more time.
I think it actually might have helped him get back quicker, honestly, because obviously when you see the fan reaction of Enzo being there, honestly, it creates a little more controversy, so to speak. And hey, there's two ways to make money. Controversy is it's good and bad. So controversy is on the bad end. You're
talking Eric Bischoff's side over here when that's book. Controversy creates cash.
It does. It really does. Seriously. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back a little bit sooner than expected. I'm not expecting him at surprise, Royal Rumble, Enzo Amore. I'm not saying that. But I could see him coming back sooner than later. I think he comes back before Big Cass. I think Big Cass is done. I don't think Big Cass will ever come back.
Yeah, I saw a picture of Big Cass at an indie show recently. He didn't look so well either.
No, I think instead of hitting the weights, he's been hitting the fast food joints. So he clearly doesn't. I don't think he cares about his physique. He just thinks he's just 7 feet tall. Legit. He's not legit 7 feet. I think if you played basketball at a small school, I think he's like 6'8", legit. That's still tall. I'm 5'8" on a good day, so I'm not saying I'm not very tall, but he doesn't clearly. He clearly is not. Not to diss on him at all, but clearly I don't think he cares what his body looks like.
Now, I enjoyed the men's Survivor Series match. I thought that had a lot of good moments in it.
I didn't like it. Samoa Joe got eliminated in 30 seconds. That was my issue.
Yeah, but overall, I thought it had a lot of, Shane McMahon was interesting in it. Shane McMahon makes everything interesting, I think.
Well, I thought the funny part was the interaction between Miz and Shane McMahon. So Shane's out of it, and Miz go to the other corner. Let's do the coast to coast. It's so funny, and it kind of leads to SmackDown this past week where. Let's make a new tag team, So what we call it, the Miz and Money Connection. Something like that, It was funny though because the Jobbers won. That was great. That was fantastic. They get the roll up for the 1, 2, 3. That was, it's Jobbers. I get it. It was cool to see Miz get beat by a jobber. That a local talent. That was cool. I mean, Survivor Series overall was pretty. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I like Survivor Series anyways. I really enjoyed Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. I thought that was a great match. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but it turned out. I think they turned out a 5-star match. I think that was absolutely fantastic.
I think you're throwing on 5 stars a little too much around here. I mean,
hey, that was fantastic, and I'm saying that because I'm not even a fan of Brock Lesnar. You know that. I don't care for Brock Lesnar, but in this sense, it made him look vulnerable at points because the yes lock was locked in, and Brock looked vulnerable for a minute there, and then he came out and did his beastly thing and won. Do I like the finish? No, but I understand the finish. Why make him lose before he goes to UFC? I think that, I don't think that's a good idea. You don't want to make him look weak going against maybe Daniel Cormier, soon enough. So that, to me, I like the match. I like the way they did it. Daniel Bryan, even in defeat, looked great. I like this new. I would consider it a heel turn. I mean, he never did low blows before, so I'm considering this a little heel turn.
what do you mean a little heel turn? Wasn't he heel going into the match?
Well, I'm saying overall. I mean, some people are like, well, he's kind of doing what Chris Jericho does, and kind of, his character kind of evolves. No. I think it's a heel. I think it's, to me, I feel like it's a heel turn. He legitimately is. He said, "The hell with the yes movement. I'm done with that." Mm-hmm. And he went from being, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it the old college try and do it the correct way. No, you went from low blows to, and then the referee in the Brock Lesnar match got, temporarily, he didn't see the action for a second there, got kind of turned around, and then that's how the match turned and made it good because Brock Lesnar gets the low blow and Daniel Bryan goes off and, he's a submission specialist and almost made Brock tap. So I thought Survivor Series was pretty good. I thought Raw was okay. They're showing the vignettes of Lars Sullivan from NXT.
Yeah, I see he's coming to WWE's full-time roster pretty soon, I guess, from the vignettes.
Yeah. But there's
Would he be your top NXT call-up?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, here's the thing, and we all know this. Vince loves big bruisers. We've known that for years. That's how he is. You look at Braun Strowman, Big Show. He loves the guys that are big, monstrous-looking dudes. Lars is going to be good. He's not a technical specimen. He's just going to overpower you. That's just how he is. That's fine. That's Vince's, calling card. He's been doing that for forever. I'm not going to challenge a guy who's a billionaire. He knows something we don't, apparently. If it was me, I would call up Aleister Black right now or Velveteen Dream. I think they're putting on fantastic matches at the War Games. That was a great show. The Aleister Black put on a good show, and Johnny Wrestling, in that match, that was fantastic. I mean, Velveteen Dream almost defeated Ciampa. That was a great match. I mean, Velveteen Dream, to me, he needs to be called up. Him and Black need to be called up right away. Honestly, they don't need the championships to, they don't. I mean, Velveteen hasn't had the championship. Maybe he's been close, but he's one of those guys where bring him up. He's already getting a pop. He's got a unique gimmick. He is very good in the ring. I'm ready. I'm ready for him to come up. I don't think Vince is ready for it yet. I think Vince and Triple H want to keep him down. I anticipate Velveteen he's going to be in developmental, I would say, I don't think this is the way it should be, but I think he's going to be there another year. I see Aleister Black, like we talked about before. I'm thinking he comes up, I would say, like we talked about last week, I would say Royal Rumble or the Monday Night Raw or Tuesday Night SmackDown after WrestleMania. That's
what do you think? So when we learn next year's Survivor Series will be in Chicago, what do you make of the new Survivor Series or the new schedule, I guess, that's coming out with it? We learned that, I don't know if this is going to be a weekly thing, but the new 4-day schedule for Survivor Series next year will indeed be similar to NXT, but the difference is it's going to kick off on Friday night with SmackDown Live, NXT on Saturday, Survivor Series on Sunday, Raw on Monday. That's going to be the Chicago loop instead of SmackDown being on Tuesday. So if you were, let's say, to go, I know WrestleMania this year, SmackDown won't be on Fridays yet, but if you were to go to, let's say, WrestleMania, and that's the new schedule, are you more interested in, let's say you're in New York City and you got tickets to all this stuff, are you interested in going to SmackDown, NXT, WrestleMania, or SmackDown after WrestleMania?
Oof. I would say SmackDown after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I feel that way too, because I'm not a big fan of go-home shows, so it's going to be kind of weird to see the go-home show for the pay-per-view to be the actual
Yeah, I don't like that.
Lead into the pay per
I
view.
don't like that
they're
setup.
instead of the pay per view and then Raw and SmackDown in the same city the night after the pay per view. Like 2 days before the pay per view, they're going to be live from LA or live from Chicago. Let's say for this.
I mean, we're on the same page with that. The go home shows are a throwaway. I mean, we've talked about it before. I know you
normally this year's go home shows were amazing.
Yeah, well,
Title changed hands and Daniel Bryan turned heel.
Well, that's what I mean. Part of that was, I think. I honestly, I read something interesting the other day. I can't remember where it was from, but it was a really interesting article. The championship was put on Daniel Bryan because AJ Styles' contract's up at the end of the year. And the new contract hasn't been renewed. They're still in negotiation. So that's what I heard. That was from what I read and different things I saw online. That's part of the reason why Daniel Bryan got the title in the heel turn like he did it. So kind of it was kind of quickly, kind of came out of nowhere.
I feel like they could have given it to him at TLC.
Well, here's the thing. I think the situation is they don't want to kind of throw it. I mean, they kind of threw it together anyways, but I think the issue was, why keep the title on AJ if you're not sure about his contract? His contract's up December 31st.
Oh no, I definitely get that.
You don't want to do that,
and I'm not against the way they did it. It was much more surprising than if they did the next pay-per-view.
I liked it. They made the go home show actually worth watching.
But it's going to be interesting to see, instead of the SmackDown, let's say after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't like
it's going to be the SmackDown before WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I know we're going to get the Monday Night Raw after, which is great.
Do you like? I do like that. If that's the indication of if SmackDown is going to be on Fridays, it's still going to be live.
Yeah,
that's the start. And SmackDown's going to be the start of the week, which is strange.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, I like the fact that it's going to be live because let's be honest. You know how hard it was to look at this, not to look at the spoilers when they taped it, and you had to wait until it was on. Like, I hated that. Like, I never in
this day and age, it just won't work.
No, because things are spoiled like that anyway. So like, that's why it's hard for me to get into this whole Starcade thing because they're gonna tape it and then edit it and then air it.
I don't understand why they can't. With all these events, as long as they are, how are they going to manage this over 1 hour?
They're gonna have to really condense things. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Like 5-minute matches? What are you gonna do? To me, is it gonna be like a highlight show? Is that what it comes down to? Like that's
it's gotta be. I mean, they have 6 matches or a Miz TV segment that looks like it'd take 15 minutes by itself.
Oh yeah, the Miz TV thing will usually that right there takes 10-15 anyways. So I mean, most matches that are good storytelling matches are at least 15 minutes. So to me, it sounds like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like it's going to be kind of like a highlight show. They're kind of just going to condense things really tight. I mean, I could see it if it was like a 2-hour special, then you're not condensing it as much, and you can still put on the matches. Maybe you don't have as much of the filler in between stuff. Maybe you just kind of roll in from match to match to match. Make it nice and tight that way.
Now, I'll end this week's show, I guess, with your take on this. Dean Ambrose, are you a fan or are you not a fan of whoever wrote for him to say Roman Reigns getting what he deserves?
I don't like it. I'm not. I think it's in bad taste. I personally don't care for it. I didn't like the heel turn the way it was. I mean, yes, it was a surprise from the storyline because he would never turn on the night that Roman Reigns makes his announcement that he's taking a leave of absence. Now, I mean, it was great on the creative side. For both parts, I would say good on creative for the shock of that he did it the night that Roman announces that he's got to take his battle and go home. And I from the creative side, it's good that he did what he did when he said, yeah, Roman deserved it, all that kind of stuff. I personally don't think it. I mean, it makes his character. I guess it makes him more of a heel. I guess because it's like, oh yeah, he got a serious illness. Well, he got what he deserved.
I feel like they should just be keeping Roman Reigns out of this.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough there between him and Seth to just it's a good storyline anyways because they were boys. Seth turned on him years ago when he became part of the Authority and he did all that stuff. Now, yeah, I just didn't like it. I felt like they should just left Roman out. Let's keep Roman out of the picture. Like Roman's got he's got a tough battle anyway. So let's leave him out of it. It's. I thought it was in poor taste. I get they're trying to build the heel character for him, but I think they could have done it else in another way.
Yeah, I agree. I have to say, same here. I just feel it just didn't need to be done.
No, I thought it was. I just thought it was in poor taste, honestly.
I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't think the original part was in poor taste of him turning heel. I thought that was very interesting. I enjoyed that very well. I just feel like that comment probably. Now, granted, I can almost bet 100% that Dean Ambrose called Roman Reigns earlier in the day, ran it by him.
Well, yeah, him and Roman are boys. They're on the road
so
together.
I can almost guarantee that they ran it by him. But And I don't even think that would probably be there would be somebody in creative who wrote that. So it's just, I just feel whoever wrote that, they probably told him to run by Roman Reigns, but it just didn't need to be done anyways.
I don't think so. Yeah, you can build it without Roman.
So that's going to do it for this week's edition of the show. A quick show this week for the holiday, coming off of Survivor Series. We talked about Survivor Series to what I guess was important about the event enough, but either way, don't forget to join us next week. We're on the road to Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. We're on the road to the Royal Rumble, before you know it.
Yeah, it's almost here.
The final pay-per-view of 2018 is coming. The first pay-per-view of 2019 is coming. Either way, next week we'll be back with another full show to talk the week that was in WWE. In fact, Kenny Omega, #1 in Pro Wrestling Illustrated's top 500. Maybe we'll chat about that next week. Does he deserve to be there? Maybe that'll be next week's Twitter question of the week. Is he your PWI top 500 wrestler of the year?
Stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned to find out. That'll be our Twitter question of the week next week. A little spoiler that I'm going to put that out there for our Twitter question of the week next week.
Sounds good.
And we'll see you then.
Happy Thanksgiving.